Welcome back, everybody, to Change Your Perspective, Change Your Awareness, Change Your Life. I'm Dr. Michelina, and I am #ThatFelonDoctor. Want to talk to you about personal mastery today. Personal mastery. Have you mastered your person? My assumption is probably not. Why? Because personal mastery is tricky. Let's just break it down. Personal, you as an entity, you as a person, is very hard to know. I ask people all the time, I'm like, all right, who are you? Tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are your flaws? What are your strengths? What are your assets? What are your liabilities? People are like, what? Right, because we don't give people the space to show up as they are, who they are. Any place that you're showing up right now, more than likely, is a space you have a role to play. Nobody's just saying, hey, show up as you are. They're saying, hey, show up as I expect you to be. Show up as I expect you to be. As my friend, as my boyfriend, as my lover, as my mom, as my dad, as my teacher, as my accountant, right? So we are all the time showing up as other people expect us to be in the roles that we play. So when I sit down and talk to people and I'm like, all right, who are you? People do not know. And they don't know because they've never just sat down and been who they are before. So when they get in front of me as like, if I'm one-on-one coaching, which I've started again, they're like, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, let's figure it out. Like, that's why we're here, right? Let's figure that out. Let's get it all, this hair, guys, this hair today. Whew. Like, let's get it all parsed out and get you really aware of who you are, because once you know who you are, once you know your beliefs, once you know what you stand for and what you know what you're about, nobody can tell you otherwise. And so the person part of personal mastery is really tough for most people. We don't spend a lot of time with ourselves. And that's the part about mastery. Mastery, to become a master of something, requires time and energy and attention. And so if you really want to be a master of your person, which people don't, you have to spend time with you, the true you, the person who you are without the roles and expectations. And people don't know what to do with that. They're like, who am I? And why do I want to spend time with myself? And so instead, what we do is we distract in other people, in other places, in other experiences, in social media, in TV. I used to distract in books. And there's nothing wrong with that if you're doing it intentionally. Like right now I'm super self-aware. Like I'm getting more self-aware all the time, but like I've done a lot of the self-awareness work. It's very easy for me. And so when I read a book, I'm like, I'm intentionally reading this book right now because I'm A, distracting myself from stuff I don't want to deal with, or B, I feel like I've done enough work on the day and I just want to sit and enjoy myself. Like I'm very intentional about, for the most part, why I do the things I do now. And if somebody asks me, and this is really personal mastery 101 here, guys, if somebody asks you, why did you make the choice that you made? You have an answer. You know why you made it. Most people don't. But I'm like, why did you do that thing? They're like, I don't know, because I don't. You're living life unconsciously. You're not a personal master of yourself. If you don't know why you do the things you do, you're not in control of yourself. Everything else is in control of you. We need personal mastery so very much. And people have no idea. They have no idea because they think, oh, I'm so self-aware. I was like this. Oh my God. Old Michelina was like this. I was like, I'm so self-aware. I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not a this. I'm not. Joke was on me. I was not self-aware at all. 0% self-awareness. 0%. And so if you are saying, I don't need this, I'm so self-aware, guarantee you're the one that needs this and you're not self-aware at all, because I was the one. I was that person. And let me tell you, I found out the hard way. I didn't know crap about myself. I didn't spend time with myself. I was so busy in the pursuit of degrees, pursuit of my own success, pursuit of what I thought success was. There is very little that we control in this life. Very little. Everything that you can control is within you. That's it. You cannot control anything else. You can influence a lot of things. Let us not confuse control and influence. Okay? You can influence a lot of things. But you want to be careful with that, because if you're influencing it negatively, it's going to come back on you. You're going to be accountable. But you can't control anything but yourself. You can only control your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your actions, your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your sexual health, your financial health, your intellectual health, your spiritual health. You can only control you. You can't control the weather. You can't control if your car skids off the road. You can take precautionary measures to hope and ensure these things don't happen. But we're always going to face adversity outside of ourselves. Most of us who are not masters of ourself, who are not masters of our person, we have a lot of adversity that we've internalized, which is our traumas and things, and we don't even deal with them at all. And so what we do all the time, and I talk about this a lot, is we're looking at our neighbor's house and we're like, ooh, let's put the small fire out on your porch when the whole house that you're in is burning. Your entire house is up in flames. And you're like, ooh, let's take care of this small fire on their porch. And it's like, what are you doing, fam? When we are not the masters of our person, when we don't have any personal mastery in our lives, it's a recipe for disaster. Our house, our self, will go up in flames. And then we'll wonder why all that we see in our life is ashes. And it's like, because you did that. Because you didn't control yourself. You didn't personal master. And you have no one to blame for that but you at the end of the day. You didn't do the self-work. You didn't do the growth work. You didn't discipline yourself. Okay? And so, personal mastery is this super important thing that nobody teaches. It's why I'm starting a school to get us there, right? Because people don't teach personal mastery because there are so few places in this world where you can just show up as you are. Just like, hey, here I am, and I'm enough. Novel. And so, if you've never really contemplated those questions of like, who am I? What do I want? What am I doing? Those like scary things. Am I really happy with where I'm at? Those scary questions we don't want to ask ourselves because we don't have answers to. We don't know how to even begin answering them. If you've never done that, you're lacking self-awareness because you're afraid to look inward at the self. And if you're lacking self-awareness, that's the first step to personal mastery. And if you don't have self-awareness, you've got no personal mastery. If you have no personal mastery, you've got no control over your person. And if you have no control over your person, it means everybody else has control over you and how you show up. You have no power. Power, zero. Bondage, very much. Freedom, don't even think about it. And so, I hope this is helpful. If you are resonating with this, I have in fact opened one-on-one coaching back up. And personal mastery is the first 12 weeks that I talk about. And so if you are interested in that, shoot me a comment, shoot me an email, find me on Instagram, shoot me a DM, find me on TikTok, shoot me a message, because I am opening up personal mastery again, and it is life-changing. There are very few coaches out there that do that and do it well. I'll tell you that right now. So personal mastery, super, super interesting concept. Very few people are very good at, and it's revolutionary. It'll change your life. And so if you like what you're hearing, subscribe, like, hit the bell, tell your friends, comment below. And we will, this is not necessarily a series so much, but I think I'm going to make it a series. The way that we grow, personal, emotional, spiritual, all those sort of masteries. How do we master the self? I think that's going to be the series coming up. So you'll see that over the next couple of days. Series 7, because I think we grow in 7 different ways. And so personal mastery, we're gonna talk about all of these things. Can't hardly wait. So I will see you guys on the next video.